It's no secret that Kokomi has much better off-field hydro application than Mona does. Because of this, Kokomi is often chosen over Mona in Ayaka freeze teams. When Kokomi's banner was out back in September, I was initially tempted to pull for her because even though I already had Mona, I wasn't able to keep enemies fully frozen during Ayaka's burst. So if you wanted to run Ayaka and Mona together, this is a guide on how to keep enemies 100% frozen during what's often the most critical part of an Ayaka freeze team's rotation, during Ayaka's notoriously high DPS burst. In most situations, many people, including myself, like to use their character's elemental skill into their elemental burst. The reason for doing this normally is that it lets your character directly gather the elemental particles from their elemental skill while they invincibly cast their elemental burst. However, even though doing this is often the right thing to do, it's not always the right thing to do. If you want to keep enemies frozen during 100% of Ayaka's burst, you'll want to avoid doing this. Let me explain why using Mona's skill into burst is problematic for maintaining high freeze uptime. Mona's elemental skill only lasts for 5 seconds. Ayaka's burst also lasts for 5 seconds. These abilities lasting the same amount of time might sound perfect, but unfortunately it's not. It's actually problematic because when accounting for the additional time it takes to swap between characters and cast abilities, Mona's elemental skill doesn't last for long enough. Even if you use Mona's burst first and then her skill, while the result is better and the enemy stays frozen for longer, the enemy still doesn't stay frozen for the full 5 seconds required. So here's what you actually need to do to keep the enemy frozen during Ayaka's entire burst. Cast Mona's burst first, swap to Ayaka, and then use her skill in burst, and then swap back to Mona and throw out Mona's skill. If you use this specific ability rotation, enemies hit will stay permanently frozen during 100% of Ayaka's burst. Doing this will prevent enemies from unfreezing and moving outside of Ayaka's burst range, which would result in a major DPS loss. To prove this works, here's a practical application of this skill rotation in floor 12 of the Spiral Abyss. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing. Take care, and thanks for watching.